Hey gang, your old buddy Clay here, and it is super chilly in the MME studio today. Why? Because of the all-new Ibanez Iceman 420. Okay gang, the new Iceman series from Ibanez is a classic take on the Iceman we all know and love with some modern tone woods, but vintage looks. All right, first off, you'll notice is this gorgeous flame maple top. There is a set of colorways for this guitar, which I will get into shortly. This, however, is the only one with a flame maple top. This is the FM version. This one has, of course, a very gorgeous flame maple veneer. One thing I do like about this guitar, just when I look at the body, these knobs are really cool. They're really grippy by design, and you can roll, slide, whatever you need to do with these very easily. I'm a big fan of those. Also the gold hardware, again, very classic, sort of gives you a very 70s allure to this guitar. But when I said modern woods earlier, I wasn't just talking about, you know, like the fretboard material or anything like that. This body is actually made of a solid slab of, say it with me, Okuome? Okuome? It's going to be spelled right here. If you would be so kind in the comments below as to help this uncultured swine properly pronounce that, if I'm not already, please do that. Let me know. That would be great. So it's a slab Okuome body with a 3-piece Okuome neck and a Jatoba. Is that right too? Jatoba? 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 Comments please below. Fretboard. You've got 22 medium frets on this, not jumbo, not medium jumbo, not thin, but medium. They feel very comfortable, very rounded neck profile on this, which I like. I've always been more of a fan of the rounded profile as opposed to sort of traditional other Ibanez guitars, which I love the RG series and I love the S series. But I have very small hands, so I'm not always adept at working the thinner, flatter necks like some folks are. In this gold hardware too, you're gonna find on these pickups, which are Super 80 pickups, by the way. Ibanez describes them as being wound like a PAF, or having like a PAF bite. These are, however, a ceramic pickup, so your mileage may vary on that. We'll hear a little bit later what that might sound like. Sort of a PAF style pickup, but with a ceramic magnet. We'll have a Gibraltar bridge, quick change tailpiece here, very cool. Just the design is very cool. This Gibraltar is really beefy, gives you a lot of room for intonation, a lot of room for, you know, just mass for sustain and that sort of thing. And plus the gold just sets off everything and looks really good. One thing you'll find on all of these guitars, by the way, you're gonna find that they have an etching here, which I think looks very classy. It looks elegant. It adds to the overall sort of vibe of this guitar. I believe Ibanez calls this the flying finger etching, and you're going to get that whether you get the flame maple top or you don't. But yeah, it's just an interesting guitar. Of course, you've got the volute back there, sort of an Ibanez staple. I really like the series of colorways that they have these in. Again, this one is Violin Burst. But you're only going to be able to get that on the flame maple, and that's the only colorway available, at least as of recording. So with that being said, let's take a look at some of the other colorways. We've got a really cool antique blue, and if you are a big guitar nerd slash Gibson nerd like I am, you will notice pretty much immediately that it gives you very much like pale and blue or Lake Placid blue type vibes. I really like this. I've always been a fan of this color. Another thing I like about this is it's the same color all the way around, which I thought was really cool. Beautiful mother of pearl Ibanez inlay there on the headstock, by the way. I love these strap buttons too. They're very robust. Multiply binding looks gorgeous on these. And I think even if you don't go the flame maple route, because you have to get like, you know, the most upscale one, I think all of these look very upscale. Colorway here, by the way, is Antique Autumn Burst, which I happen to be a fan of. Although I'll admit, the nerd in me does really like antique blue as well. I really like the parallelogram inlays on these. I think they look gorgeous against that Jatoba fretboard. Three-way switch here, of course. It feels very tight, too. That's a very, like, a tough switch. I feel like you're going to be able to get some real mileage out of that switch, especially, I know it's a Paul Stanley thing, and it's not Paul Stanley's thing to do this, but if you want to play some Kiss and do that thing with it, I don't think you're going to have any trouble doing that. I think that's going to be a pretty easy thing to accomplish in this and not end up running into trouble later. With the burst finishes in general, so that includes the violin burst as well, you get just a very, very dark back with these. Incredibly dark, even under this lighting, an incredibly dark transparent finish. But I like the way that it looks. I think it works well, and again, flows with the overall design of this guitar. So, I mentioned earlier that we're going to talk about what it means to have sort of a ceramic magnet PAF sound. Let's see what that sounds like now, gang. Gang, I think that's going to do it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe for more Mountain Music Exchange content. And check us out on Facebook at Mountain Music Exchange. Of course, check us out on Instagram at Mountain Music Exchange. And check out Mountain Music Exchange on TikTok. And also, don't forget to check out mountainmusicexchange.com, where you can check out that new arrivals section. Check out all the new arrivals that come in daily. That's new stuff, that's used stuff. And if it's in stock on the website, we have it in store. So you'll never find anything on the website that's not already there. All right, gang, that's going to have us. I'm Clay. You rock. Have a good one.